Hello gorgeous people, what is going on? And welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going over a newer analog horror series called The Silencer. In this series, we follow Sofia, who's living a normal life until one day she starts to feel this strange sensation, like fingers twisting in her chest. And then, out of nowhere, this creature shows up in her apartment. From that moment on, things get really disturbing. No one can hear Sofia anymore. No matter what she does to try and get people's attention, she can't. And the creature, it just keeps following her around. And every time Sofia tries to scream for help, the creature just tells her, shh. So what's really going on here? Why can't anybody hear Sofia, and what does this creature really want? Well, today we're going to try to answer all those questions and more by watching all the videos in this series so far. Now, of course, before we jump in, please be sure to go and support the original creator of this series, The Silencer, whose link to their channel will be at the top of the description down below. Please be sure to go and support your analog horror content creators. You can support their channel, of course, by subscribing and liking their videos, but try this out. If you're on computer, open up another tab and you can have their video play in the background on low volume, or you can open up the videos on your phone and have them play on low volume over to the side. This helps the channel because they still get their views and their watch time, which will help their channel grow overall. But alright guys, I'm really excited to jump into this one. I think this one has a lot of deep meanings hidden within it, and it's just such a weird and interesting concept in general. But alright guys, enough of me yapping. Let's jump right in. Video 1. Can you hear me? My name is Sofia. Something awful happened. I felt fingers twisting in my chest, then I was trapped. And then it was here. I tried to tell Vicente. Vicente, something's here. Vicente? Can you hear me? But he couldn't hear me. Vicente, Vicente! It's in here. No one can hear me. Listen to me. Please. It's here again. Will it trap me like this forever? Maybe this time he'll hear this. Ooh, it never works. It wants me. Can you see this? Look. It's right there. It doesn't like it when I shout. Help, help, help. Sofia? You okay? It changes what I try to say. Yeah, Julio. Yeah, Julio's on the way. Cool. You can take the couch. That's not what I said. It'll only get worse. What does it want? Oh, okay. The Silencer, Chapter 1. Alright, so, pretty bugged out concept. to begin with right here. So we have Sofia, who's just in her apartment, and then all of a sudden she feels fingers twisting in her chest, and then everything changes. All of a sudden she sees this creature, which this seems to be the best look at its full body that we can get. It seems to just be a black figure with like these sideways horns, and then this what almost looks like a mask, but it's not a mask because we see the mouth move on it later. Then Vicente, who I'm guessing is her boyfriend, can't hear her when she calls out for help. She's trying to make him aware, like, yo, there's this thing right here. Like, do you see this? And he's just, it's almost like she's not even speaking. Her not being able to communicate with him is constant. And so she decides to have this idea where there's a plate here. If I break the plate, that'll definitely get his attention. So she breaks the plate, but it's almost like she never actually broke it. And even the one that she broke disappears. Now, I'm guessing she wrote this. It wants me. She used a knife to write it, and this still doesn't get his attention. So it seems like this creature has almost trapped her inside her own body, and she doesn't have any actual control now. She thinks she does because she's trying to break plates and she's trying to write on walls, but it all gets undone because it's not actually happening. It's kind of like it's all in her head in a way. Again, the best way I could describe this is it's literally trapped her inside her own mind. Even when she tries to say things, different things come out of her mouth when she's interacting with him. So reality is still going, you know, she's still living her life and doing things with Vicente, but she doesn't have any actual control over it. Another interesting thing is that it doesn't like when she shouts. Whenever she shouts or like tries to call for help, this thing literally shushes her. And obviously, the name of this channel is called The Silencer. So this entity, this creature, seems to be called The Silencer. And I guess that's the whole premise of what it's doing. It's keeping her quiet. It's, you know, it's not letting her inform anyone around her about the situation that's taking place. Something else I noticed is throughout the video you hear a lot of whispering, but it's not like one person whispering, it's like 10 people whispering to each other all at once. I don't really notice anything weird in the environment at the moment. It seems that all of this is taking place from Sofia's apartment, and we do get this family photo, which is a mom and a dad and a son and a daughter, but other than that, I don't really notice anything specific that stands out. Also, this is what I meant at the end here. This thing is definitely not a mask. It's its actual face, because you could see its mouth moving in the middle there, right at the end. So Sofia asks the question that we're all wondering, what does this thing want? If it's trapping her inside her own body like this, why? What is the purpose? Why is it trying to keep her quiet? Why is it trying to silence her? And we do have 2 more videos here that we're gonna go through, so we're gonna go through both of them before I try to like really theorize if there's anything else. But really bugged out concept that I like a lot, that is a really scary concept in itself, is you're trapped in your own body with no control, and you can't say anything, you can't call for help, you can't sign for help in any way, you're just stuck like this. And there's this creature just around you taunting you. And whenever you try to call for help, it tells you to shush. I also do like this like animated style that we're getting to it too. It's very different and very cool. Nothing crazy in the description either. The description just says chapter 1 and says help me, and everything on this channel, including the channel name, is written in this like corrupted text. But this is very cool so far, and I'm liking it a lot. And the views on these videos are popping off, by the way. I did not realize this was as big as it was. 161K on the first video. I'm curious. I need to know more. So let's jump into the next one. Video 2. I need a drink. By the way, before we start this one, I just realized I pronounced the name in the last one Julio, I believe, but it's actually Julio. I am sorry for that. My name is Sofia. No one can hear me. Can you hear me? It's here again. Vicente, listen. Sofia, are you hungry? Maybe they'll hear this. Ooh. Nope, didn't work. It never works. My brother isn't doing well. I'm guessing this is Julio. I wish I could talk to him. Yeah, because Julio's supposed to sleep on the couch. He'll smoke the wrong thing one day. He changed when Dad died. Julio? What happened? Say something. Julio? Where'd you go? Are you there? Oh my god, Julio. Wake up, wake up. Vicente, Vicente, help! No one can hear her. He's dying. Yeah, we can watch a show. No, listen to me, he's dying! Julio, I'll be right I've already seen that one. Stay with me, stay with me. What? Sorry I had to do that. Sofia, can you hear me? I've been trying to tell you. My name is Julio. No one has heard me since I was 7. Sofia, Sofia. It's right there. Okay. So, it's been torturing him for way longer. When I drink, it goes away. My sister isn't doing well. Sofia, don't move. Yeah, order something, Julio. It almost has her. She needs to hear me. I'll make her. When we're high, we can hear each other. Sofia, listen carefully. It'll be back soon. We need to go. What's happening? Have some more, or it will take you. Take me where? Okay, alright, so wild twist there, and we got some more understanding of maybe the origin of this creature in a way. So, let's go through that whole thing. In this video, we're introduced to Julio, and Julio is Sofia's brother. Julio seems to have a drinking and smoking and drug problem, and we could see that by just what's on the table here in front of him. We got alcohol bottles. This appears to be drugs, I believe. And we saw him smoking a cigarette outside as well. We also learned that Julio really changed when Sofia and Julio's dad died. We're gonna come back to this in just a second, but there's blood on the ground here. We see a hand who we could assume is the father. And then when we see Julio, he appears to be covered in blood. Now, upon first looking at this, I believe that the dad has ended himself, and it seems that Julio is the one that found his dad, and that's why he's covered in blood. But I also have a theory that that might not be just as it seems, but we'll come back to that. But Sofia says that he hasn't been the same since this event, which obviously you can imagine nobody would be the same since this event. That would be something very traumatizing to experience. So you could almost understand why Julio is the way he is. Sofia then finds Julio choking on his own vomit in the bathroom, which is usually something that can happen from drugs or from drinking way too much. And now Sofia's going through this problem where no one can hear her, and she's trying to tell Vicente, you need to help him, you need to help him. Nobody's helping because nobody can hear her. And this right here is when we get our little twist. She's trying to help him out, and then he starts lighting the foil again, and which is kind of odd. And he then shoves it into Sofia's face. Now, him doing that also gets Sofia high because then she inhales the drugs. And here's our twist. Julio did that all on purpose just to get Sofia high because it lets them communicate. It turns out Julio is in the same situation that Sofia's in, where he's been dealing with the silencer and how no one can hear him for years, since he was 7. Julio tells us that no one has heard him since he was 7, and the event that we see that caused this was his father's death, which we could see this is the first time that seems Julio saw the silencer. And here he's freaking out, but if you remember from Sofia's memory, he was just calm and very stoic, I guess. It was clearly this event, their dad's death, that caused Julio to first see the silencer. So, 2 things. Did their dad actually end himself, or was it the silencer that ended their dad? And was the silencer also torturing their dad in the same way that it's now torturing them? And because the dad died, it then moved on to Julio. Now, it could be that the silencer maybe killed their father, or maybe their father ended himself because he didn't want to continue suffering the torture that the silencer was doing. These are just some things that I think we should think about going forward. And this thing follows Julio all throughout his childhood. We see him on the playground here. We see him, he's a little older now. And that's when he discovers that drinking makes it go away. And you could see that by whenever it's shown that, they're under the influence of alcohol or drugs, everything gets a lot brighter. Everything's really dark in the first episode, but you could see Julio here, everything's a lot brighter now that he's drinking. Same thing in this scene with Sofia being high. Everything's a lot brighter now in the entire apartment and in the bathroom. We also learn that Julio knows his sister isn't doing well, and it seems that he knows the silencer is directly after her. Now, I'm not sure why Julio knows that Sofia isn't doing well. Maybe there's some kind of event that also happened to Sofia that has now caused the silencer to latch onto her. Because if the silencer is like some kind of creature that can latch onto, trauma, it would make sense why it latched onto Julio. And maybe if something here has happened to Sofia, that might be why the silencer is also latching onto her now. And that kind of lines up with a way deeper meaning to this whole series in itself. Obviously, Julio experiencing his dad's death would be very traumatic and kind of creates this, this demon creature thing that tortures you in a way from experiencing that. And just like, in the real world, people trying to escape these feelings and these thoughts, they drink, they do drugs. And it's a way for them to escape it, just like how it's a way for these characters to escape the silencer. So it does make me wonder, did something happen to Sofia where now she has her own traumatic experience or her own really dark thoughts that she's going through, and that's what the silencer has attached onto her for? We can see here Julio knows that the silencer is going to attach onto her. It seems he's not aware that it has already. So he came up with this plan that he's going to get her high, and by both of them being high, they can communicate because the creature isn't around. Now, maybe this is me thinking a little too deep into it, but does them being high almost bring them to another world that isn't the normal world? Because you could see now that Sofia's high, like all the vomit that was on the floor here is gone, and everything is obviously a lot brighter, like I said before. So does it temporarily bring them to a reality without that creature? And at the end here, Julio basically tells Sofia, like, come on, we gotta go. And he's driving somewhere, and he says that she needs to have some more of the stuff, or else it's gonna take her. And obviously the question is, Take me where? Is there another step to how the silencer works? Like, obviously it's already torturing both of them, but is there something else that it can do that's on another level from that? What does he mean by it will take her? But it's nice to know now that Sofia's at least not alone in dealing with this situation. Yes, her and her brother are both being tortured by this thing, but maybe there's a way that they could work together to overcome it. Honestly, like I said, the deeper meaning to this whole series in just dealing with, you know, dark events in your life and trying to escape them using drugs or alcohol. I'm sure a lot of people can relate, or maybe know, you know, family or friends that can relate. And I think it's just a really interesting way to depict a, you know, a creature in horror here. But all right, we only got one more video left, so let's jump into the next one. Video 3. Don't hurt him. My name is Mauricio. No one can hear me. Okay, so another person dealing with the same situation. What silenced me is in there. Can't run from it anymore. Okay, hold up, relax. Okay, this looks like a lighter, and this also looks like drugs. Again, I'm trying to refrain from saying specific terms and words because I don't want YouTube to like completely censor this video, but it seems that this person also is aware of how to escape the creature. But he's not running from it anymore. Now he waited to nighttime. What is this structure though? It's always whispering. There's a way in. What are you saying? What are you saying? A classroom? I remember this. No one cared. Sound design is very well done, by the way. It was almost like I heard it running out of my right ear. It smelled like burnt plastic. What are you saying? Okay, really distorted rooms now. After that day, everyone left. I was such a burden. Okay, so again, not sure what this structure is, but it seems to be bringing Mauricio through specific events in his life that have maybe led up to this point. What are you saying? What are you saying? What do you want? No, don't hurt him. No, don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. No, I'll do anything. I can't let it hurt him. He's better off without me. Okay, I'm wondering if this is Julio and Sofia's father. My name is Sofia. Okay, wait, hold up. Hold up, Sofia, before you get started here. This is looking like an angel here, but I want to slow down through those quick flashing images. Okay, classroom, again. This looks like a toilet from above. And then this looks like the silencer. This is that room we saw before with the boxes on the couch. And then this seems to be Mauricio falling from the structure. So just before we get this last segment of the video, I want to assume that Mauricio is Sofia and Julio's father. And when the silencer is kind of threatening to also get Julio, his son, Mauricio decides like, no, I'll do anything. Please don't hurt him. And he's like, all right, maybe if I just end myself, it won't be able to move on to my son. And that might be why their father died. And turns out he was wrong anyway, and it still moved on to Julio. My name is Sofia. When we are high, we can hear each other. Julio, what happened? Who is that? It has Mauricio now. Let's bring his body to the others. Okay. So that just immediately disproved everything I said. Mauricio is not their father. Otherwise, Julio wouldn't say they got Mauricio. But this is the same location as where that structure was that Mauricio saw. And who are the others? Okay. Okay. Mauricio, where'd you go? Come back. Is this maybe, okay, so is this maybe Mauricio's brother then? Because see, the hat could be the same as this, Mauricio's younger brother. That would make sense. No, don't hurt him, don't hurt him. So again, same concept though, decides to end himself so that it doesn't latch onto someone else that knows him. So I think Mauricio actually screwed up here a little bit. If I'm correct in thinking that Mauricio was afraid that the silencer would then also hurt his younger brother, Mauricio's thought process was, all right, well, if I end myself, it won't find a way to connect to my younger brother. But if this creature is created by people experiencing these traumatic events, then he, by ending himself, has sent the silencer onto his brother, because his brother is now going to experience this pain of his brother dying. And it seems we literally see that at the end here. Obviously his brother's upset. It seems that his brother knows something about, about Mauricio going missing. And listen here. Oh my God, I just realized. Notice how he grabs his chest. And in the first video, Sofia said, all of a sudden it felt like fingers twisting in my chest. And then that's when it appeared. And now we're hearing the whispering. It sounds like the fingers twisting in his chest as he's grabbing his chest. The silencer is now on his brother anyway. Which again, this may have been the same mentality that Julio and Sofia's father had. If I end myself, it'll stop the silencer and maybe it won't be able to attach to them, not realizing that this is how the silencer works. It attaches on to these traumatic moments for people. It attaches on to things that, break people's hearts and really destroys them. And that's what creates it. Another thing I want to go through is that if you remember at the end of episode 2, Julio was telling Sofia, like, it'll take you. And then she's like, take me where? Well, after Mauricio's death, we see Julio say it has Mauricio now, which makes me wonder, like, if you die or choose to end yourself because of this thing, does that make the silencer fully take you completely? Like, maybe that's the silencer's goal, is to almost torture your mind so much to the point that you decide to take this extreme route by ending yourself, but really that's what it wants you to do anyway. That's how it fully takes you. And it would also make sense why the silencer is smiling here when Mauricio says he's better off without me, because this thing knows it's won now. It plays on your emotions and everything just to win. Now also, it does seem like Julio has found a group of people that are also going through the same thing, because that's where he's taken Sofia now. So maybe all of them combined can try to find a way to stop this thing, but I don't even know exactly how you would. I just want to go through now my theories for the future and just how I think this creature fully works, which I'm going to be repeating myself a little bit here. So I think this creature develops by people undergoing traumatic events in their life. And I'm not sure exactly how that ranges yet, but like example is Julio finding his father's body. Obviously that's extremely traumatizing to a 7-year-old, and it's that event that causes the silencer to appear in Julio's life. And from that moment on, Julio's been dealing with it. Now, a bit confused on how Mauricio might have gotten it. We do see like all those rooms during the Mauricio section in this last video, but going through all of the rooms and everything that Mauricio says, I can't quite understand maybe what event has occurred to have the silencer in his life. And again, we don't know why the silencer is necessarily in Sofia's life either. We know Julio says that his sister isn't doing so well and that he knows that the silencer is, going to get her too. But is there something that happened to Sofia that has made her have a traumatic experience that is now causing the silencer to be in her life? I find it also very interesting that this series takes drugs and alcohol and kind of sheds a light on them in a way, like shows them as, this is a way to escape this thing. Now, obviously in the real world, when people are going through these hard times emotionally, dealing with whatever issue it is, drugs and alcohol are escape. It helps you stop thinking about it. It makes you feel a little happier in these dark times. But that can only get you so far. Using drugs and alcohol can turn into major problems and addictions and send you down an even darker route than you may have already been on. So I'm curious if we're going to see that route of it as well. Like, obviously it's helping them right now, but will the overuse of it end up taking them down a darker turn as well? Obviously overusing drugs and alcohol can kill you too. Would the silencer also be able to take you if you die that way too? Now, the silencer also doesn't like when you shout at it, right? It doesn't like when you shout for help, which makes sense because usually when people are going through these traumatic events, they should ask for help. They should find people to talk to about these things, to help them get these feelings out, to help them try to go through these emotions in a healthy way. But the silencer doesn't want you to do that. I mean, obviously in a literal sense, it literally doesn't let you speak to people. It doesn't want you to try to speak out about these things. Something I'm also trying to understand is the whispering, how it always whispers. And how when you're experiencing the silencer in your life, it's all you hear is whispers. What is it saying? And obviously that's Mauricio is trying to understand at the end here, like, what is it saying? What is it saying? What do you want? We do hear a lot of whispers throughout the series, but I can't really understand what any of them are saying. So I wonder if that's going to be something that we're also going to learn further down the line. And if the whispers are maybe related to that person's trauma that caused the silencer to appear. This next segment of what I'm about to say is almost a bit hard to put into words. How are they going to beat the silencer? And is there a way to even beat it? If the silencer is a creature that's created through undergoing trauma in any form, then you would think the way to beat it would be by getting over that trauma or moving on from that trauma. But that is such a hard task for anybody going through anything like that. Sometimes it takes years to move on from something traumatic that's happened in your life. And sometimes you never can move on from something traumatic happening in your life. Sometimes you just have to learn how to deal with it and how to cope with it in other ways. And sometimes people resort to drugs and alcohol as a way of coping, and then sometimes people go to therapy, sometimes people talk to other people, sometimes people just try to distract themselves endlessly to never end up thinking about that traumatic experience. So it's a very complex topic, I think, trying to find ways to get over trauma. And in the way of someone like Julio, it's like, how do you get over that trauma? How do you get over the fact that you saw your dad's dead body in such a horrifying way? And I don't think you do. I don't think you do get over that. I don't think that's something that you could ever get over. It's just something that you can learn to get through and find ways to get through it, find ways to make things easier. It doesn't necessarily have to control your life. And I think that's what some people struggle with, is that it kind of just feels like this looming shadow that controls you. But it's learning to understand that this has happened and how to try to keep moving forward. I hope I put that into words right. It's, again, a very complex topic in its own sense, getting over trauma and how to get over trauma, especially when trauma has such a range of ways that it can affect you. But I think this is an incredibly good series, a very interesting series, a very well stylized series. I really like that the dialogue of characters is what I believe piano notes, and I like the animation, the way it's animated, just how it's entirely presented. I like the silencer and how it works, the idea of how, when this thing attaches to you, it's just, all right, you can't speak to anybody and you can't really control your own body. You just have to live with this thing inside of you. And using alcohol and drugs as a way to escape it is a very interesting concept too. And I can't wait to see how this moves forward. Now, before we end the video, guys, I just need you to do me a huge favor. Please, please, please go and show your support to the Silencer YouTube channel, which will be linked at the top of the description down below. Head over to their channel, watch the videos for yourself if you can. You might even picked up on some stuff that I missed. And also be sure to let me know any of your theories or thoughts in the comments down below. Now listen, if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys want to see me continue to go over this series, I probably won't go over it until a few more videos are released. So it's best that you go and subscribe, and then you can watch those videos for yourself when they do come out. And then when I eventually make my video going over the rest of the episodes, you can watch it with me later. Now, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to drop a like on it. And if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. I make videos like this going over different analog horror series all the time on my channel. Also, if you're interested in some non-horror stuff from me, be sure to check out my second channel, Project Immortal, which will be linked in the description down below. And all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.